Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. I'm here with all my lamps, or you know what, it's probably not all my lamps. I have more in the closets, more in the garage here. But this video is really going to center around two or three of all these lanterns, and that is my Coleman dual fuel, which I just bought, so we'll go ahead and try it out for the first time together. And then I have a kerosene hurricane lamp, which I picked up. It was like $5 and I love it. It's really what I like to see in a kerosene or oil lamp, because the glass is totally enclosed, just like this one. If you want a more ornamental version, they have these type, unlike these other ornamental ones that I always worry about that this top can just fall off. I don't recommend these, but these are some of my first ones, so I didn't know any better. And you know, if you have animals or kids or in the house, I don't recommend these. And then of course I've constantly reviewed battery operated ones in the past. I think this year I've reviewed this Energizer Weather Ready, which I really like, and I'm still using on the original set of batteries and continue to use it, but it's not very bright. And then I have this little Coleman Max. I love Coleman products, and this is a little Coleman Max compact one that opens up, and it's I've done a review on it recently, so you can go back and take a look at that. So don't recommend this type. As a matter of fact, we don't even want to see it. And then we have these. So let's go ahead and light some of these and check it out. I have a lighter here. I've already fueled all of these. So now this one's pretty neat. I mean, this might be my favorite oil lamp because it looks pretty cool. And you just sort of lift up on the glass right here. It has some tabs. So we'll go ahead and do that and light the wick. And there we go. And you can adjust the wick with the knob here. So now it's not a very wide wick, so it's not a extremely bright lamp. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and turn some of these lights out. As you can see, this is not a very bright lamp. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put this aside. This is a hurricane lamp. This you can find probably in a store for $5. This thing was just wrapped in plastic, made in China, of course. And the way that you lift most hurricane lamps is there's a little tab that you pull here, and the whole glass piece lifts, as you can see, and it locks. And then you have to sort of, like a stick shift, move it to the side and up. So we'll go ahead and bring it up, and we'll light the wick. There we go. We'll lower the glass. And you don't want all this black here on the top, because that's going to make everything filthy. You want to just lower it. You want it just bright enough. You want it just high enough, but when that nice yellow starts turning to a darker yellow, brown and black, then you're starting to release a lot of soot. So now, as you can see, this hurricane lamp that has a wider wick is a lot brighter than the one with just the little rope kind of wick. So really neat. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on. And I'm going to turn the big light on. And we're going to go ahead and play with the new Coleman dual fuel lamp. I'm going to set these aside because I want to compare the lights to these after everything is done. Now, this is the Coleman dual fuel lamp. Now, these are okay to use inside, by the way. This is not an indoor lamp. This is like for camping and for outdoors and places where you have ventilation, because this releases carbon monoxide. When I say dual fuel, that means you could use gasoline or the Coleman fuel. Now, these guys are also dual fuel because you could use oil or kerosene in these oil lamps. So I'm going to go ahead and take the top off here and be very careful with the globe. By the way, the globe is made in China, but the rest of this is made in the USA. Now, when you get your Coleman dual fuel lamp, or when you get these type of lamps, they normally have mantles that are not attached. I had to tie them on, but I don't want to make this a very long video. It's going to be long enough. So I already went ahead and tied them on. Now, you can also get mantles that have clips, so you can just clip them on these tubes, which next time I go out and buy some, which only costs a couple of bucks, I'll probably buy the kind with the clips. These things, these mantles, will last probably 1 season of use. Now, I noticed that a lot of people will buy these things and then just fill them up with gas and start them up and not break them in properly. What you're supposed to do is light them. So we'll go ahead and light these up. You want them to totally burn, and they're going to turn white. You're actually almost turning them into ash. So we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure I got both sides really good. Alright. Go ahead and... Now you want to be careful putting this globe back on. And you want to make sure you set it in within the tabs of the springs here on the bottom. And I'm going to just let this go a little bit because there's like ambers. I'm going to let it finish burning in. And then we'll go ahead and light it. Now, to fuel this Coleman up, there is a fill hole right here. So you go ahead and unscrew it, fill it up. By the way, it comes with a funnel. That funnel has a filter in it. It also has, I guess, like an air tube. So you just sort of take this cap off, stick this in there, give it a little bit of a twist, just to lock it in really good, and pour gas or the Coleman fuel in there. And then close it back up. Now these kerosene, you can use things like this ultra pure paraffin lamp oil, the clear stuff. It's pretty good. Or you can use kerosene, but it smells. This stuff really doesn't smell at all. And I noticed that these kerosene lamps, like this one here, all are made by a company called Lamplight. So Lamplight seems to be the popular brand out there, and of course they're all made in China. If you want to see the box that the Coleman came in, that's what it looks like. The Coleman dual fuel. You can find them usually about for $60, $50 to $60. These kind of lamps usually are about $10 to $15, the oil lamps. This guy, this utilitarian kind that I really love, $5. I mean, pretty good deal. If you intend to use these oil lamps outside, by the way, you could go with the Tiki brand Citronella. Try to keep some bugs away. But I digress. I'm sort of want to focus on this guy now, the Coleman dual fuel. Now this is full of unleaded gasoline. Now, what I'm supposed to do, because I'm learning here, we went ahead and broke in the mantles. Now what I'm supposed to do is turn this pump to open it counterclockwise about 1 turn and pump it 30 times. There's a hole in here. You're supposed to keep your thumb over it and then pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and then we turn it clockwise until it's closed. So this whole thing now is full of gas and pressurized. Great. So now, what I'm supposed to do is turn this on the full and light it. Now there's some holes under here, so I can go ahead and take my lighter and just stick it under here and hopefully be able to light it. Or you're usually supposed to use a match. I'm going to see if I can do this with the lighter. I might have to get a match. Oh, there we go. Woo. Now, the whole thing is just going to sort of flare up a little bit. Alright. Well, that's pretty neat. Now, this is the first time I've ever doing this, so this is pretty exciting for me. And wow. Now, as this thing gets warm, I can tell it's getting brighter. Wow, this is incredible. I can't see the camera, my eyes are blinded. This thing is like 850 lumen, I think. Hold on. Let's see. 861 lumens. So it's pretty bright. Now they have versions that use the propane instead of these other fuels. You just sort of put it on top of a propane tank, and those things get even brighter. But I don't like the propane tanks. It's more expensive, and they don't last as long. You're going to go through about, 5 propane tanks compared to a gallon of gasoline. So I'd rather use something that's more flexible, like, the gas type. So I'm going to turn out all the lights now, and we could compare what these look like compared to each other. Wow. You can't even barely see this lamp at all. You might be able to see this a little bit, this light. But this is just sheer brightness, ain't it? And you could control the light. See, I could dim this down. Now the oil lamps you could dim too. You can move the wicks up and down. There's like a little thumb wheel. There's a little thumb wheel here on all of these oil lamps, as you can see, and you could adjust it up and down by just turning that. It moves the wick up and down. But again, you don't want to go too high because you get that smoky kind of thing going on. So, but this thing, this has a hiss. Listen. You could hear that thing hiss. Let me bring in so you could hear it. And we'll bring it back out. So that's incredible. That is just incredible. Now let's, here's a Rayovac cheapo LED guy. I wonder how bright this is compared. Yeah, it's not too bad. Actually, this is pretty bright for cheap. I don't know how many lumens this is. This is one we've had in the house for years. I remember doing a review on this guy. Now this guy is not very bright, but it lasts for months. Everything is light. So you can see that this is probably not near as bright. I mean, on the camera could be deceiving as far as brightness is concerned. So, but this thing, this is absolutely incredible. These things have been around ever since I've been alive, in the 60s. But I've never played with them. I've never tried them out, so I just think it's pretty cool. You get to see my excitement, my inner geekdom coming out. So I'm very impressed. I like that it's made mostly in the USA, except for the globe. And I also noticed, I did a little research on the interweb and on YouTube, and you can buy replacement parts for just about everything. You could get replacement mantles, you can get replacement pump, so you got to pump and pressurize this thing. You can get rebuild kits to rebuild all of this. People collect these. I mean, there's some gorgeous old ones from the 60s that I wish I had. They have green ones and red ones and everything. This is almost something that you can pass down to your kids if you have kids. I chose not to breed. I spared the world. Trust me, my genes. Whew. But You know, these old Hurricane lamps, of course, get a better made one. I think Dietz makes some really nice Hurricane lamps, which if I come across one, I'll probably purchase one. But those could be like a family heirloom that you could pass down. I love these utilitarian style lamps. I absolutely love them. You know, if you look up the word steampunk, steampunk, as in steam, and punk as in punk rock, steampunk. It's a whole culture that loves designing things in a very utilitarian kind of way, like old steam engines and everything. And this sort of is in that category as far as design, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So again, you know, I would recommend all of these. I wish that this one that really looks nice, you know, ornamental, but still safe because the glass can't come out. The wick is kind of thin, so it's not as bright as something with a wide wick. And this is totally enclosed. And by the way, this is freaking hot. By the way, these oil lamps not only are good for light, but in the winter they do give you a little heat. I'm getting nice and warm here. And it's not just from this one. I'm going to go ahead and ease that up a little bit to sort of balance everything out. Real quick, I just wanted to do a close-up of each lantern. This is an ornamental enclosed oil lamp that I really like. And again, here's the knob to adjust the wick. And again, the tabs to pull up to light it right there. Here's your standard Hurricane type of lamp. You know, there's the fill hole here. Here's the knob to adjust the wick. And here is the piece to raise the glass so you can light it. By the way, on the top, after it cools off, of course, and then it can tip. You see that? How that tips? Trying to keep my hand out of the way. But this whole thing will tip, just like that. And then you can remove the globe. Then you tip it back, and that goes right in there. And again, here's the Coleman. Really nice. There's the fuel fill, and that's your gas adjustment, and that's your pump. See, there's the hole that you got to make sure that you cover while you're pumping that. Pump it up 30 times. And there's your electric. Usually it's just an on-off switch. You have a lot of choices here, and you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. If you just go with light, with battery operated ones, when you're done with batteries, then you have to go hunting for batteries, and eventually you'll run out. But in a survival situation, you might have a lot of gas. Like I have a generator, and I keep a lot of extra gas around in case of emergency, and in that case I could use some of that gas for the Coleman dual fuel. Now, if you have kerosene heaters in the house for emergency, or if you just have kerosene heaters by any chance, then it might be a good idea to get some kerosene type oil lamps so you can sort of dual purpose that fuel and have some of that laying around. Now, if you have propane all over the place, then you might want to get a propane lamp that has the mantles in it. So, you know, it's all up to your situation, what you have already or what your desires are as far as what you want it to do. Let me know what you think. Again, the one thing I really wanted to point out was that you really have to remember to prep those mantles by setting them on fire first and letting them burn, so they turn into they're char, but they char white. But you're supposed to do that before you use them the first time. And again, these Coleman mantles, I heard a lot of bad things about them, and I've seen someone actually open a package up where one already had a hole in them. Not good. So there might be some other brands, so I'll be trying out some other brands. Also, if it does get a hole in it, if a mantle gets a hole in it, you're going to see like a flame coming out of that hole. And if that flame hits the globe or the glass, it can discolor it and even break it. So you need to be very careful and replace those mantles if they get a hole, or usually at least every year if you use it a lot, just to be on the safe side. They only cost a couple of bucks. Save yourself the heartache. And again, don't use the dual fuel or the propane in the house if you don't want to burn down your house or asphyxiate yourself because of carbon monoxide. Now, kerosene and the oil lamps are okay. They've been using them inside the houses for years, but you might want to crack the window up because they do consume oxygen. So you want to replenish your oxygen, so you might have to crack the window a little bit, get some air in there. So there it is, my collection of different types of lamps. Just wanted to show you, just wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed this video from the Gear Obsession channel. I appreciate every friend, viewer, and subscriber. Have a great evening.